and thank you for watching Ask Ron, where Ron answers our Gold Club members' questions each and every week. My name is Adol, and I have Ron here today. How you doing, Ron?
I don't know how you can be bad with this weather out there. I've never seen better weather than we have here right now.
It is nice. All right. If you have any questions going forward that you'd like to ask Ron, make sure you are a Gold Club member, and you can find all the details at ronsgoldclub.com. Our first question is from Tony and Angie, of course. If you are mentoring your younger self today, what would you tell him to ignore?
Drugs. Tell him what to ignore. Tony, questions are getting harder and harder on the old man. God, I don't know. There's so many things that you shouldn't do. I'm trying to think of one that might be at the top of that list. One of them is definitely do not guarantee debt, because I think that's the biggest mistake you can make. When you guarantee debt, you totally lose control. Another is be careful who you listen to, because I'm telling you, there's a whole bunch of crap out there today, especially on the internet with all these teachers teaching a lot of stuff that'll get you in trouble. Actually, don't make sense. They won't work, but they'll actually get you in trouble. Some of this crap, either financial or legal trouble. I don't know. I got a book called Lessons Learned. There's a bunch of them in that. You get that on Amazon.
All right, Mike from Texas. With the new FinCEN rules starting March 1st, requiring reports on all cash residential deals on LLCs or trusts, how should investors like me adjust our strategies using seller financing or creative terms to stay compliant and keep building portfolios?
Okay, what's his name?
Mike.
Mike? Okay, Mike. That's a good question. And the answer is, don't worry about it, because you're never going to fill out one of those reports. That's the responsibility of the closing agent, not you. And that's one reason why I like having attorneys close things. They're protecting you. But no closing agent today is going to close a deal without getting any report filled out. Now, you can count on them to charging you for that, but it is what it is. And FinCEN's FinCEN, I don't even know what that stands for. Financial.
It's the crime something, yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's made to keep people from laundering money and all that kind of crap.
Yeah.
But again, you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. And also, if you want to check out FinCEN, FINCEN.gov/RRE, you can find all the details there as well.
Yeah. If you need something to read to get you to sleep.
All right, Brandon in North Carolina. What documents does the seller need to provide for the appointment when doing a lease option?
If you're asking me that question and you have been through Quick Start lately, there's a list right in the book. And if you haven't been, get there. We still got some seats available on the 24th of this month here in Jacksonville. And I want to tell you what we're doing different here this month in Jacksonville. We are going to keep a phone available in the room for sellers to call into us while I'm teaching, okay? I used to do this way back. We're literally going to take calls. Now, and Adol's ramping up a machine to try to get some calls coming in exactly on that first Tuesday and Wednesday, and we'll see what happens. It'll be fun. I hope I'm stopping a lot and letting Adol take the call.
Me too.
I've never done that. I mean, I can't even remember when we did it last. It's been 20, 30 years ago, but it's fun. So I'll put that back into boot camp. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Sarah from Florida. With interest rates and prices where they are now, what's the single biggest adjustment you've made to your terms offers in the last year so you're not wasting time on sellers who will never say yes?
Okay. Well, first, you're going to waste time with sellers who will never say yes to screen them out, but that's approximately a 90-second call. And that's most of them, to be honest. Most sellers will not say yes to terms. So get over that fact. That's why we screen them out quickly right on the front end and don't waste time on them. If you got my scripts, or you're a Gold Club member, if you don't have them, you can get them right on the Gold Club site. Just put in the search box scripts and they'll come up. The one you're going to be using is called the closing call script for the most part. And right in the first paragraph, it says, John, sometimes we pay cash for houses and sometimes we just make the payments until the loan's paid off in the future. Cash offer's always going to be well below the terms offer. So do you have to have all cash the day you close, or would you like to hear other options to make you more money? If he says, I have to have all the cash, conversation is over. It's that easy. Read the script. Of course, you got to practice on them, and don't make one of the 14 mistakes that I'll give you when you get to the boot camp. And I hope you're coming to Quick Start. In fact, I hope you're coming this month, because I won't be doing another live one until May.
All right, David from Arizona. When you walk into a seller appointment and they've already talked to two cash buyers who lowball them, how do you quickly separate yourself and get control of the conversation without sounding like every other investor out there?
Well, first of all, you got to offer more than they have. Okay, but just keep in mind, you don't want to do that unless the numbers make sense. If they don't make sense, go. Call me if one of them doesn't buy. That's all you can do. Okay. You don't want to pay too much just to get the deal. That's a big mistake. Okay, big mistake. I'd rather have you not get the deal than overpay for it. I'm assuming you know how to compute the Mayo formula and how much you got to buy it below Mayo if you're going to pay cash for it. And when you're wholesaling houses, you're paying cash. You don't intend to pay it, but you intend to have your buyer come in and pay it. So just be aware of that. You got maybe 30 days to close. If you don't find a buyer, you just don't close and you forfeit your $10 deposit. So don't be afraid to make an offer. And I would say, Al, you back me up, I don't know. I would think that in most places, other than war zones, you can probably sell this thing for about the Mayo.
Yep.
Maximum allowable offer. We don't pay that. We got to pay below that, so we can sell it at the Mayo.
Yeah.
So don't be worried about filling out contracts that you'll pay cash. But be careful you don't make promises you can't keep. All right.
Karen from Georgia, for brand new investors working full-time jobs, what's a realistic weekly schedule you'd follow to start getting terms, leads, and closing deals without burning out?
Okay, good question. First of all, if you don't locate prospects, you don't have a business. So you got to figure out what things you're going to do amongst all these things you can do to get leads. Some of them are free. Some of them cost very little money. I'm not going to go through that here today, but that information is easy to get. And gosh, I spent a whole half a day on that the first day at the boot camp. But my term system has a lot of those in it. In fact, we have a 3-day event on tape on finding leads, getting deals. Got that as well. You can get that from here. Unless, if you're coming to my Quick Start school, I'll give it to you. It's a 3-day training just on that subject. And of course, we're going to cover it there as well. But if you don't find the leads, obviously, that's a part-time, in fact, it's almost a no-time deal. You just got to figure out what you want to implement, and others will do the work. For example, if you want to put out door hangers, you just got to figure out what day do I want to do it. Probably a Saturday, get a couple of teenagers, put them in the car, and let them go down the driveway and let them put door hangers on the doors on each side of the road. Very inexpensive. In fact, how do we order 5,000 of those cards? Cost us $550, probably a little more than that now. That's just one simple way. Look for FSBO signs, for sale by owner. Pick up the phone and call the number on the sign, or send the number to your VA and let them call them for you. That's what they do, all right? And they'll fill out the PI sheet. Now you got something going. Now you got somebody to call. Because without those, you don't. Unless you just want to get on the phone and do cold calling, and you're going to have to come and let me spend more time on what that means, because that don't mean you get a list and call everybody on the list anymore. With Dreams Pro AI, you can pick your target. In fact, we just did this yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
That's our CRM that has all these things in it. It'll estimate repairs for you. You can pull mailing lists in it. You can have them send mail for you in it. You get the ARV in it. All these tools that you need to do your business.
All right, James from Colorado. What are the top red flags in a deal that make you walk away in under 5 minutes, even if the numbers look good on paper?
James, if the numbers look good on paper, I'm probably not going to walk away. But on these newer homes, the first thing you're going to look at is the payment make sense. Does it come close to covering the underlying debt payment? Now, I don't want you to even walk away from those. I want you to think them through. In fact, you should get help. You should. This is the kind of deal you run across Adel on your calls, which we have one coming up when for Gold Club members. Monday night.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, get on that call Monday night and bring that deal to us. Adel's going to interview me, and then we're going to let you interview me, and then I'm going to address issues that you might have that we can help you fix. And if you got leads like that, we'll talk about them. So plan on a long call Monday night. Or you can get off anytime you want. If we start boring you, you can get off. But that's a good one that I'd like to discuss, because that's a common one out there right now. Red flags, obviously there are a few. For example, if they have $10,000 worth of equity in the house and it needs $20,000 worth of work, they ain't gonna buy it, period. We got one similar to that right now with a student of mine. And know this, when I lease option a house, I'm not gonna do repairs on it. I don't renovate houses. I'm not doing any repairs on houses I don't own. I think I learned that lesson. All right. So question is now, is the deal worth me buying? Is it worth me buying? Now, if it's not worth me buying, I still might lease option it. I don't get depreciation, but that's the only thing I don't get. Other than that, it's same dollars as if I'd bought it. I get the debt pay down, I get all that stuff, front end deposit. But as far as a red flag goes, let me help me with this, Al. There's probably some more.
Maybe location, if it's in a really, really, really bad neighborhood.
Oh, if it's in a war zone or close, yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe it's 20 miles out of town.
Yeah.
No civilization.
Yeah.
But that's rare, very rare. Best thing you can do is get these leads on a property information sheet and discuss them on all the calls you have access to. That's exactly what we want to help you on right there. Because I know in the beginning it's a little tough to figure out, is this a deal or not a deal? Only way you're going to do it is go through a bunch of them, and pretty soon you get it. So we all learn.
Yep. All right, Lisa from Washington. When you put tenant buyers into your lease option houses, what are the biggest screening mistakes you see students making that come back to bite them a year or two down the road, and how do you avoid them?
We put them in. You put them in with not enough money down, and you're going to have a problem. If you put somebody in a $400,000 house and they're putting up $5,000, they are not going to buy your house, and they're not going to be the kind of tenant buyer that I like to work with, which are not a pain in the ass. Okay, they don't have enough dog in the hunt. So I'd rather have the house vacant than take less than 5% down from a tenant buyer, and I would kind of like to have more than that, and quite often get more than that. So that's the biggest mistake you can make. Screening them, just send them to screenthetenant.com. And he charged you $50 to do all that for you, including a debt ratio calculation, background checks, Megan's Law check, credit check for $50 lousy. And he does it very quickly. When you make your decision based on that. But honestly, I hate to even see you do that until you come let me train you, because the amount of money they put down determines on how much of this ugly stuff I'm willing to overlook. Okay, most of the people coming have bad credit. I'm okay with that. But what else is on that credit report that I don't like? Like maybe 3 evictions and 2 foreclosures in the last 5 years. That depends on how much they're putting down, okay? If they're putting 5 down, I ain't touching them. If they're putting 50 down, I'll let them in. Because either one of those is okay if they're putting 50 down. So, by the way, just for the record, I've only foreclosed on 1 tenant buyer my entire life. I've only evicted 1 tenant. I've never foreclosed on one, but I've only evicted 1. And that's because she died, and therefore the rent quit coming, and I found out 2 of her sons were living in the house not paying the rent. That's the only thing I had to evict them to get rid of them, because they were living in the house.
That was our last one, so make sure you check out ronsgoldclub.com and submit any other questions you have going forward.
Make sure you get on that call Monday night now. It's free. It's for you. It's for Gold Club members only. Starts at 7 p.m. and we got some new things coming up.
And then next Thursday we do have an live event coming up next Thursday, the 12th as well, but they'll be getting some information about that.
Gold Club members?
It'll be for everybody who wants to register for free. It's going over Dreams. It's a Dreams presentation. Next on the 12th, yes,
right.
sir. Yeah.
Am I on that one?
Yes, sir, I think so.
I'm on that one. All right.
We'll see you next
So
week.
you guys watch your emails, that's all we're saying.
Yeah.
All right, see you next week.
All right.